Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into a really interesting piece of ancient text, Deuteronomy 24, verses 6 through 15.
Right. And it might sound like just a list of old rules, but honestly, it's more like a blueprint.
A blueprint for what?
Well, a kind of social safety net. And it gives this pretty surprising definition of what justice actually means in that context.
Okay, so our mission today is to unpack these laws, see how they protected people.
Exactly, especially the most vulnerable. I mean, back then, poverty could be a death sentence. We want to see how that ancient wisdom, maybe speaks to us today.
Sounds good. So let's start with verse 6, Deuteronomy 24.6. Don't take a millstone or even its upper part as collateral. Why a millstone? Seems specific.
It's incredibly specific and vital. See, in ancient Israel, families weren't buying bread, they were making it every day.
Oh, okay. So the millstone was?
It was their basic tool for livelihood. Think of it like, I don't know, taking someone's rice cooker today, if that's how they ate every single meal. No millstone, no ground, no food. Simple as that.
So this law was basically saying a creditor's right to get their money back didn't trump someone's right to, well, eat.
Precisely. The right to basic survival came first. Property rights had limits when life was on the line.
And you mentioned before, we shouldn't picture those big, round millstones necessarily.
Right, good point. Mostly they used what are called saddle corns. It's simpler, two stones, one rubbing against the other.
But the principle's the same.
Exactly. You take one part, the whole thing's useless. Can't make food.
And right after that, verse 7, it jumps to human trafficking,
Yeah.
making it a capital offense.
Yeah, quite a jump, but it reinforces the core idea, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, first you protect the tool for daily survival, the millstone. Then you protect the person themselves, their life, their freedom, their fundamental dignity. It's saying human life and liberty are absolutely non-negotiable.
Okay, that sets a strong foundation. But then the text seems to take a detour. Verses 8 and 9, talking about leprosy. How does that fit in?
It feels a bit odd at first glance, I agree, but think about who was most vulnerable, most isolated back then.
People with leprosy, for sure. Outcasts.
Total outcasts. And God commands they be treated according to the priest's instructions, divine guidance, not, human fear or disgust.
So it's about extending that protection, even to those society wanted to push away.
Exactly. It's emphasizing compassion guided by God's law, not just human whim, especially for those on the absolute margins. No one's outside that protective concern. Remember Miriam, even Moses' sister wasn't exempt, showing this was in God's hands.
Right. Okay, then verses 10 and 11 bring us back to debt. But this time, it's about how you collect collateral.
Yes, and this is fascinating. The creditor cannot just barge into the debtor's house.
You have to wait outside.
They have to wait outside. The debtor brings the collateral out to them.
It feels surprisingly modern. Respect for privacy, dignity.
It's absolutely about dignity, protecting the sanctity of the home, preventing those power plays you see in debt collection sometimes. Even if someone's poor, their home is their space. You respect that boundary.
And then the outer garment. Verses 12 and 13. If you take someone's cloak as collateral.
You must return it by sundown. No exceptions.
Why was that so critical?
Because for many poor people, that heavy outer garment wasn't just clothing. It was their blanket. Their only protection against the cold desert night.
So taking it overnight?
Could literally threaten their life. It's that serious.
And this is where the text defines justice in that surprising way you mentioned.
Yes, look at verse 13. When you return the cloak, the poor person will bless you, and crucially, it will be righteousness for you before the Lord your God.
So justice or righteousness here isn't about strictly getting what you're owed.
No, it's redefined. It's about compassionate action that preserves someone's life and dignity. Returning the cloak, ensuring they survive the night, that is righteousness in God's eyes. It's active compassion.
Wow. Okay. And finally, verses 14 and 15 deal with wages.
Right. Don't delay paying your daily laborers, especially the poor and vulnerable.
Because for them,
that day's wage isn't savings. It's dinner. It's their lifeline, literally keeping them going day to day.
And there's a consequence for failing to pay.
A serious one. The text says the laborer will appeal to God, and God himself will hold the employer accountable. It brings divine judgment into, fair labor practices.
So all these laws,
Yeah.
the millstone, the cloak, the wages, they're all pieces of this safety net.
Absolutely. Protecting the absolute basics needed for survival and dignity.
It feels incredibly relevant. Are there modern millstones or outer garments we should think about?
Oh, definitely. Think about that example, Need LA, these two high school students in Los Angeles.
What did they do?
They saw this paradox, right?
Right.
Bakeries throwing out perfectly good bread while people nearby were going hungry.
Yeah, food waste and hunger existing side by side.
Exactly. So they started a nonprofit. They collect that unsold bread, that discarded lifeline, and get it to shelters, food banks.
So they saw the bread like the millstone,
Yes,
essential for survival.
precisely. They acted. That's the kind of active, life-preserving justice these verses are talking about. Seeing a need, seeing a millstone, and doing something.
So this deep dive really challenges us then. It asks us to look at our own lives.
Are my rights, maybe my perfectly legitimate rights as, say, a property owner or an employer, somehow, maybe inadvertently, threatening someone else's basic survival, their dignity?
It forces you to ask, how can I practice that kind of active compassion, that life-preserving action that the text calls righteousness or justice, whether you feel like the creditor or the debtor in a situation?
Yeah. How do we return the cloak today? That's the question to wrestle with.